I'm Sam.
And I'm Greg.
We're human beings. And we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 79 of Reaction Time Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Today we are going to look at the movie The Gift.
Yep.
Which I had not heard of until you said it.
Directed, written, and starred by Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, which I guess we're on a theme here.
We're on a theme here.
Only
Not
movies where the star acted, wrote, and directed. That's the
only ones we're going to review from here on out.
That's it.
Not the main star, but pretty close.
Yeah, not the main star. Also starring Jason Bateman.
Yep. And
also
Rebecca
starring
Hall.
girl from Thing.
Yep.
And Roy.
Yeah, and Roy for like a little bit in there.
Yeah. Some random people, but some like it had recognizable people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I have seen this.
Yeah.
It was probably like 8 years ago, because this is like what, the 9th anniversary, 9-year anniversary of this movie.
Yep.
It was probably like 8 years ago. A coworker had told me about it and was just like, dude, you should watch this movie. And I was like, okay. So me and my wife watched it and I was like, oh man, that movie was crazy. And I haven't seen it since. So all that I remembered going into this movie was the end, but I forgot everything else in between.
Which there's some important stuff in there.
There's some important stuff in there. So I'm curious your thoughts, first viewing, because I will say when I watched this again, I was like, dang, I forgot how good this movie was. Mm-hmm. So.
Thoughts right off the bat, loved it.
Yeah.
Hated it. They just did a super good job at suspense.
Such a good job.
So good. And you know what? So much of that was the music.
Yeah.
The music in this movie. The music
is phenomenal.
So good.
It's so good. And there's not I would always say there's probably a few different songs. It was just kind of like either a replaying of it or like the next section of that song. Mm-hmm. But dude.
Yeah.
Something you wouldn't even be feeling like suspenseful, but the music would start and then you'd be like, oh crap, why am I feeling this way?
What happened. Exactly what happened.
Do I need to, is something suspenseful about to happen? What's going on?
Yeah. So basically, no spoilers here, but first half of the movie was like crazy suspenseful. Like have no idea what's going to happen. And then, so that's like first act is crazy suspenseful. Second act is not really. Mm-mm. It kind of slows down. And then third act is not. There is a lot of suspense, but it's not the same. The third act is more like kind of everything changes in a way.
Yeah.
I can't say anything because it's pretty spoilery, but it's very interesting. I think what they did with the characters was very unique, which I appreciate a lot.
Yes.
Because it's not one of those movies where just everybody kind of is exactly what you think they are the whole time.
Yep.
That's as spoilery as I will get, but
yeah.
But yeah, really good characters.
Really
for
good.
the most part.
Yeah.
So, and I do like that this movie felt very enclosed somehow.
Yes.
I mean, obviously it's basically three main characters and then there's some side characters, but every time you're with them, like almost the entire movie is from one person's point of view. It does shift sometimes, but even when there are side characters in there, I don't know how they did it, but they still make you feel like the main character kind of is in their own little bubble and everybody else like is not mattering at all. It's very strange.
It's so strange.
But they did a good job. So
they did a really good job. And really and just like you really don't know much more than the main characters. Mm-hmm. But you kind of know like a little bit more because there's some like weird stuff that happens that they kind of just either didn't notice or shrug aside type of thing.
Yeah.
But there's so many different like things that happen that you're not expecting at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
100%.
super good. Yeah.
And I want to talk about all of them.
I know, so do I.
There's not a lot of things that happen, but they're kind of big.
They're huge.
And it's just bizarre. Yeah, you have to watch this and come back for the spoilers because I have so much I want to say about it that I just literally I cannot say it right here. But
it's on Netflix.
Yep.
Till the end of the month. So
You have a couple weeks.
After that, I'm not sure if it's going to go on anything, but utilize that time and watch it.
And it's a pretty quick watch. I think actual viewing time is a little under an hour 40. So it's quick.
It's very quick. Which is perfect. It's a perfect runtime.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, that's a great runtime.
Nothing felt boring. It all felt like it was supposed to be there, but they didn't drag it out for too long.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What would you give it?
I'd give it a 9.3.
Okay. I was going to do a 9.5.
Yeah. I think the beginning of the movie is very strong in what it's trying to accomplish. I do think there's a section of the movie that I think was maybe too drawn out or just wasn't as suspenseful as the rest or something like that where I was not quite as engaged. But then the end is great too. So
yeah,
all in all, a very good movie.
Yeah. I 100% recommend it. So, and don't listen to the spoiler if you're going to go watch it.
Yeah.
Just don't. Do
it.
It's R, but it's just for a little bit of swearing. That's pretty much it.
Uh-huh.
So, watch it. It's worth it.
Yeah. Definitely. Should we get into it?
Yeah, dude, I got nothing else. You got anything else you want to say?
No. Let's do it. We're getting into spoilers now.
Let's do it.
Go follow all of our social medias and subscribe to the podcast. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. I love that you basically have 3 main characters.
Yep.
And 2 of them are the villain.
Yes.
In completely different ways.
Exactly.
But I love it.
It's awesome.
Jason Bateman,
you do not expect to be a villain.
No, and you kind of, because here's the thing: a jerk is not a villain, right? That's not the villain of the movie, but he super slowly gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Because even at the beginning, you kind of notice like he's kind of mean. And then he gets like really mean and he starts saying really mean things. And then you start uncovering some dirt. And then he goes to apologize and beats him up. It's like, it just gets so much worse as time goes on. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And towards the end, right before he received the last gift or the second to last gift, last gift, we'll talk about it. Right before he gets that, I was like, oh my gosh, Jason Bateman was the villain all along. And then you see the video and the last gift and everything, and you're like, okay, they're just both the villain.
They're both horrible.
It's hard to pick one. They're really sixes there. They're completely opposites. One created the other.
Opposites.
You know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
But all in all, it's basically just a revenge story.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's such a different way of doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not really a complicated story.
No.
It's pretty much
you could explain majority of the story pretty quickly. And Jason Bateman and Rebecca Hall are a married couple, and they're out shopping, and this guy introduces himself and says, hey, I know you. Are you Simon? Which is Jason Bateman's main character. And he's like, yeah, I'm Simon. He's like, oh, we used to go to school together. And they figure out who he is. And then he just kind of inserts himself where he like drops off a wine bottle. And then he's like calling him and he's like, let's do a dinner and all this other kind of stuff. And kind of getting like really it only feels creepy because of the show. If it wasn't, nothing he's doing is very like super awkward. Their dinner together at the beginning is a bit awkward, and it's a bit like very pushy or like straightforward, where he just kind of like all of a sudden is like, oh my gosh, I'm in your lives again.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of on Jason Bateman's side, where he's like, oh my gosh, I don't like this guy. I remember in high school, he was a super weirdo and he feels very socially awkward with him. But his wife, Rebecca Hall, is like, no, he's really nice. He's just a little socially awkward. You know, he might be a little troubled, that kind of stuff, but he's not doing anything wrong. And then you just start to realize that Jason Bateman isn't necessarily a good guy, because he basically pushes Gordo, as his name. He pushes him away because he thinks he is in love with his wife and wants to basically bone her. And he's like, no, I'm going to stop that. And so he tells him, like, we don't want to see you anymore. And then it just flips, where Gordo like writes him this letter and was like, I thought we could let bygones be bygones. And you're like, what do you mean we could let bygones be bygones? What happened? You know? And then you start to uncover that Simon basically makes up this thing about him being gay with this other kid, and then his dad finds out, and his dad like burns him and stuff because he hates the fact that his son's gay, and they have to leave town, and like all of this stuff happened, and he has this horrible life. And then that's why Gordo's doing this, is because of everything that happened to him. He starts giving him like these gifts that are like not welcoming gifts. He steals his dog. We're assuming. You really never know. But
I guess we don't know.
I assume he does. He gives him fish, and then he kills the fish. You know, like, and he starts to get a little bit crazy, but the wife is still like, you know, he's not a horrible person, but Jason Bateman is just, he can't get over the fact that what he did wasn't wrong in his eyes. Because he thinks he was fine. It was in the past. It doesn't matter
Yeah, he's
anymore.
basically like, everybody gets bullied.
Yeah.
He's like, my dad was mean to me and I got over it.
Yeah.
He just like is super unaware of
what
like
he's
doing. Aware of it, but he's unaware of it, of like what harm he caused. And it's so good though.
It's so good.
What's his name? Taron Egerton?
Joel Edgerton.
Joel Edgerton. Who's Taron Egerton? Is that a different guy?
There's a Nash Edgerton.
Is there a Joel Edgerton, or am I going crazy? Nope, there is. Joel Edgerton. Oh,
Joel
no.
Edgerton's the main guy.
Wait, who's Taron Egerton? Yep.
I have no idea.
He's the guy everybody wanted to play Wolverine. Okay, got it. Joel Edgerton. He was so weird. Something about him was off, and it was really good because he was obviously acting.
Yeah, he did phenomenal.
He did so good. So good. And I mean, he's in a movie we're watching next month called Warrior, which I'm so excited for. But anyway, I mean, I guess we can get into our scores, but I just think it was so unique to kind of do what they did. But we'll talk about that when we get to story. I really only have one visual note. I can talk about a couple other things, but just when she's showering and she wipes off the glass, and because she thinks she sees something, she like wipes the fog off the glass, and he's like, what's his name? Gordo is there, and he like puts his hands on the window. I jumped straight up out of my seat like a cat. It was insane. I jumped so high.
The cool thing about that, and this is almost like not quite the nail in A Quiet Place, but they had done that in another scene where she was in the shower and she thought she heard something and she just wipes it away and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the next scene, right?
Yeah.
And then you hear something again and she looks in the fog and you can see somebody you think standing there, and then it cuts to her again, and then it cuts to her and she wipes it away and he's just right there. So it was like, you weren't expecting it because the last time there was nothing there.
Exactly.
So you're just assuming that probably nothing is going to happen again.
Luckily, it was a
And
dream.
so cool. Yeah, luckily it was a dream.
Thank goodness. I could not have handled that if it was not a dream. But then otherwise, I mean, I just think visuals wise, it was good, but it was kind of just average.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot that went into making this suspenseful, but there was nothing super unique about it, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it
The way
needed
that they clipped to things was good.
Yeah.
To do kind of your jump scares.
Yeah.
The only kind of couple shots that I thought were cool was when it would do like a side shot of the house, like inside the house, and Simon, Jason Bateman, him and his wife would be sitting like eating, and then they kind of like get into an argument, but it would still focus on Jason Bateman sitting, but she would like walk out, but it's like a side shot, walk out into her room, and then it's just him still sitting there, like kind of like going like this because they were in a fight. So those kind of shots were cool because it just kind of started to show the separation that was happening between the two of them. So,
Yeah.
but other than that, yeah, it was just camera shots. It means nothing extraordinary.
Yeah, for sure.
Only notes I have is the poor fish, and when the dog comes back after it eats, it stares at her, and it's like super weird and creepy.
So
like
weird.
it's like it saw things.
I know. Oh,
I was
creepy.
like, bro, how'd you get that dog to do that?
Dogs are amazing, man. They know things.
Dogs are.
So that's all you got?
Yeah, I mean, like me, it'd be like a 165. You know,
Okay, I was
nothing,
gonna say 170. So
yeah, nothing crazy, just a teeny bit above average.
yeah.
So
Okay, so story wise, we talked about a lot of it already.
yeah,
I don't actually technically have any notes, but I do want to talk about the ending. Do you have
Okay.
anything kind of? I'll mostly talk about the ending. So do you want to?
yeah. I
about
just
some other
thought that in high school he was class president, and his campaign was Simon Says. I thought that was
Genius.
a pretty good thing. The only other couple things that I have is just a little bit more of the story. So like when you find out that the wife has a what's the like word? It's an addiction to like painkillers and like stuff like that. I'm assuming, or some kind of like
yeah.
sleeping pills or
Yeah, she's got an addiction.
an addiction to them. It's just little things like that where you just didn't think that was going to happen,
Yeah.
but it explains a lot of things throughout the story of how she acts, and sometimes Simon's aggression towards her, which seemed out of place at first, but then when you realize this is why they moved, it makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they did a good job at like uncovering little tiny details.
Yeah.
I also am very proud of myself. I very much called it when she was looking through his desk and she found the file for Danny McDonald. I said, oh my gosh, he's going to screw that guy out of the job. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm just saying, I'm genius.
Did
Oh,
you
go
hear? Did you hear? Because I didn't pick that together. But then when he is sitting with his boss, I think it's Kevin, and he's talking to him about, he thinks that because Simon's basically trying to get a promotion to be like the VP of sales at his job, and so this guy Kevin is stepping down, and so he wants to be the next one. And when he's talking to, I think it's Kevin, he's like, oh yeah, have you heard there's an investigation going on with Danny? And it's just super quick. Like that's all he
I
says.
didn't even notice that.
Yeah. And then Simon kind of shuts him, like kind of says, oh, we'll talk about this later because the wife had just walked in. And I was like, bro, he totally set up Danny. Just
Bad
super
dude.
subtle, super quick, blink and you miss it type
Yeah.
thing. And I was like, that's good right there. That's
Yeah.
good right there.
I think they did such a good job at villainizing both people. And it's interesting because one of them starts as the villain and the other one starts as the victim. right?
Right.
And then they slowly like twist and
Yeah.
turn and start to almost meet in the middle where you're like, both of these people are bad. And then you almost start to
Yeah.
feel sorry for Gordo. And you're like,
Yep.
okay, something is off, but like this is Simon's fault.
Yes.
And then at the end, it's like, oh my gosh, okay, so Gordo's really, really bad. But Simon is really, really bad
Simon is also bad, too.
Everybody's, well, not everybody, just the two of them are evil.
But they're not in the middle anymore. They're up here.
Yeah, basically, they're just terrible, terrible.
It was like this, then it was in the middle, and then it was like this, and then they just both go up to the top.
Yeah.
It's not in the middle anymore. They're just both horrible people.
Absolutely. It was bizarre. But it's Simon's fault.
Yeah.
I blame him.
Yeah. The only last note that I have is when she rereads the letter from Gordo about like let's let bygones be bygones. It's been like a year or more because they had a kid or basically having a kid at this point. Why did she keep the letter?
I don't know. She's weird too.
She is weird.
What's so weird is she defends him so much.
Yeah.
So like something's off about her too. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically what happens is Simon and what's her name?
Rebecca.
Robin.
Robin is her name.
Simon and Robin are trying to have a baby. They had miscarried a baby. Now they're trying to have a baby again. While all of this is going down. They finally get Gordo out of their lives. They get pregnant. They have a baby. Okay.
Well, she can't get over the fact that there was never like a clear like apology from Simon.
Right.
So she basically makes Simon go and apologize. So Simon tracks him down and basically says, my wife told me to come here, so I'm apologizing. And then Gordo's like, oh, you're just here because your wife sent you here. And then Simon like basically gets all pissed off and like pushes his stuff, pushes him on the ground and says, you come near my family again, like there'll be hell to pay or something like that.
Yeah.
And then goes home to Robin and is like, oh yeah, he was actually grateful that I said sorry and all this other stuff. So anyway, then continue.
He's so manipulative. Anyway.
So manipulative.
So they get pregnant. Basically, they, right as they're about to, or right after they have, was it right after they? No, it's right before they have the baby. She finds out basically everything.
Yeah.
She goes to one of his old buddies who kind of like, I don't know, he's probably a co-bully kind of.
Yeah.
She finds out about how he sets Danny up, and Danny comes. Danny was great too. Danny came
Danny
over,
was great.
broke their window and started screaming at him, and this everything basically blows up in Simon's face.
Yes.
Then they have the baby, and for God knows why, they have the baby, and immediately Simon's like, okay, well, I'm gonna head home, so let me know if you need anything. It's like, okay, whatever. She's like, I don't want to see you anymore. Basically, like I don't want to go home with you. She says we're getting a divorce. He goes home.
You missed something. He's trying to go home because his boss has just called him saying that he's been fired.
Well, yeah, but I guess why is he going home then?
Well, I think he was going home because he was going to try and fix it.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, your wife just had a baby, but I guess he's also a dick. So
yeah, he is.
Anyway, so this whole movie, Gordo has been leaving regular or creepy gifts for Simon and Robin. So he gets there and there's a new gift. And it's a little stroller baby carrier, whatever that's called. And then there's 3 bonus gifts. And the whole time I was saying, it's a bomb, it's a bomb, it's a bomb, it's a bomb. It was not a bomb. I was literally, I was positive. I was positive it was a bomb. And then what was the first one?
The key.
It was the key to their house. So Gordo gives him a present and it's the key to his house. Oh, so creepy.
So creepy.
So creepy. The second one was an audio, which I was sure was going to be a bomb after it played. It was going to like play all this stuff and then blow up. Wasn't a bomb. But it was
this
audio
message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Right? It was audio of when Simon and Robin went over to Gordo's house, quote unquote, which he had stolen or
broken into.
He was broken into.
Kind of.
And then during that dinner party, he had stepped out and Simon had said all this awful stuff. And obviously, I knew he was recording. I could you just know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, that's really awkward. And then the third thing is a video. And I was like, this is a bomb. It wasn't a bomb. And so the third one, he puts it in and it's a video Gordo's taking through their window. And he's like filming Robin sleeping and he's filming Robin. And I guess he drugged Robin, right? Probably.
I'm assuming so.
It looks like he did.
Because he
had the
kind of shakes like the
Gatorade and
Gatorade
everything.
afterwards. Yeah.
At one point during the movie, Robin passes out. Now, this video is from a different point of view. She passes out, and then he goes and basically gets on top of her like he's going to violate her, right?
Yes.
And I think he ends up putting her on the bed and everything, and he's filming like the mirror, and he has a monkey mask on, and they had
Because
foreshadowed
Simon
that way
hates
earlier in the
monkeys.
movie that Simon hates monkeys. And then the video cuts there. And then basically Simon gets on the phone with Gordo, and Gordo's like, basically they have this conversation. Simon's trying to find him to probably kill him, and Gordo is very elusive. He actually sees him in the hospital, but Gordo gets away. And basically Gordo says, I guess you'll never know if it's your kid or mine, basically, which is crazy.
Horribly crazy.
So let me ask you this. Is the gift the baby?
I think it is Gordo's because just the way that so basically while Simon has left and is finding out all these things, Gordo has gone in to the hospital. He's got a
Sling.
What's
Sling.
the sling? Thank you. He's got a sling on his arm. He's bruised up on his face because of what Simon did, and he's got flowers. And so he goes into the hospital room where his wife is at, and she wakes up, sees him, and starts to freak out. And he's like, no, it's okay. Like, I just wanted to tell you congratulations. And then just the way that he looks at her and looks at and asked, is it a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
It felt deeper than just he's just asking because why would he care so much about knowing and going and seeing her if it wasn't his?
Exactly.
So
do you
they
think
leave it
that's-
up in the air.
Do you think that's what the title of the movie is? Do you think The Gift?
think
Because it's
so.
called The Gift, not Gifts. It's not about all the presents he leaves. It's about one thing. Is it the baby? It was his gift, his seed?
I think so. I think his
Gross.
gift was to just destroy Simon in
He did
any
a
way
good
imaginable.
job, honestly.
He did a great job in destroying him.
So anyway, I mean, that ending was so good.
That's so good.
Just not
And then
knowing.
basically Simon goes back to the hospital, and Robin's holding the baby in the nursing room and has the nurses close the curtains so that he can't see him because Gordo says you can see it in the baby's eyes. You'll know which one it is. But she doesn't allow him to see his eyes because they close the curtains. And basically that's where it's left. Is just
That's it.
Simon has been destroyed. Gordo walks out and removes the sling from his arm, so still lying. And it just ends.
Okay, a quick question about your theory. Do you think Gordo legitimately ran into him at the store, or do you think he hunted him down, like at the beginning?
I want to say he hunted him down.
That's what I think.
Because didn't it say that in another thing that I thought somebody had said Gordo had done this to somebody else.
Oh, I don't remember that at all, but maybe.
Or he had met up with, or maybe he was telling Simon that he had met up with other people from school or something like that. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So I totally think he hunted him down. I mean, the whole point of him was to, I think he hunted him down. And I think what Gordo's initial intentions, I think they were good. They were just to see if they could let bygones be bygones, see if they could just have a friendship, because I'm assuming Gordo probably looked up to Simon because of how much he talks about him at the dinner table. He's super, he says like he's proud of him like 12 times. He was class president, all this other kind of stuff. So I think he idolized him.
Yeah.
And then when he did that to him, and it ruined his life, and it ruined his relationship with his dad, and his dad tortured him and all that other kind of stuff, I think he probably still idolized him in some way.
Yeah.
And wanted to see if they could just be good friends and he could just kind of be part of the family, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he realizes Simon hasn't changed at all, then he's like, then I'm going to do this to you.
Yeah.
So I don't think he went with the intention to totally destroy him. I think it was good at the beginning, but then Simon was a dick and
Yeah. And then he got what he deserved, pretty much.
got what he deserved. Oh my gosh.
So what would you give the story of this?
Oh man. It's so good.
It is.
Everything to me felt like good story beats. Even the stuff with the wife, her figuring it out, it's pretty dang good. I'll do 196
Okay.
for me.
I'm going to give it a 195.
Okay.
The only thing really that bothers me about it is kind of the obliviousness and the not doing anything about it stuff. Like, they really don't get the police involved until the dog goes missing, even though there's been way weirder stuff. Like, to me, after probably gift number 2 or 3, and after him showing up unannounced at my house all the time, nope. Game over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she like defends him so much when he's obviously like kind of creepy. So there's a little bit of that I'm like, not the best, because I think like any other normal person would be like, something's weird. Something's going on,
Yeah.
So
I did like what the police said, though. It did feel smart when they were like, unless you have proof, we really can't do anything. He's like, we can go to his house and ask him these things, but then what's going to happen? He's going to know who sent us.
yeah.
I did like that because I was like, oh, that is true, because if he knows that they sent the police, he's going to snap.
Yeah. That's true.
So I did like that aspect of it, but it's very hard because it's to the viewers, it feels very obvious,
Yeah.
but I wonder in that situation if it feels as obvious,
Yeah. It's always more obvious
where
as
he's fixing their stuff, right? He got them fish, he's fixing their TV, like things like that, where he's like being super nice. He's a little maybe
and it's creepy to us,
socially
right?
awkward.
Because we know it's supposed to make us feel weird. So
Yeah.
but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody test it out and let me know.
Okay. The whole thing from start to finish.
Yeah, somebody do this whole thing from start to finish and like let me know how it goes. Drop your success in the comments below.
Okay, hold on. We
Okay.
didn't talk about the fact that this is 2 movies in a row, written, directed, and starred, that have a monkey mask in it.
Okay, we gotta go for the hat trick. What's the third one?
What's the third one?
We gotta find something. I can't leave it like this.
No, you can't. Is this Gordo's prequel to Monkey Man?
I think so. I think Gordo turns into an Indian man later. Speaking of which, let's talk about acting.
Yeah.
Which, bottom line, was really pretty good.
Yeah, Rebecca Hall and Jason Bateman. I don't think they were quite as good as I've seen him with other people.
Well, it was no. Who is it? Rachel McAdams. In
Game night.
I mean, that's the
Or
one
even-
for him.
Have you seen Identity Thief?
No.
Okay, him and Melissa McCarthy like totally work together. He's not technically married to Melissa McCarthy. He's married to somebody else, but like just their chemistry, that's the word I was trying to use, were really good. In this one, it was good, but it wasn't quite perfect. And I think that was a lack of. She did really, really good, but not like quite as good as Jason Bateman or Joel Edgerton, I felt.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
agree. I think this is the first time I've seen Jason Bateman in a serious role.
Have you not seen Ozark?
Nope.
Oh.
So I think this is it.
I've only watched the first couple episodes, but that's definitely more of like a serious.
Yeah. It's
thing.
mostly been Game Night,
He's usually comedies.
Arrested Development, and Zootopia. And that's basically it.
And Identity Thief is funny. It's not serious.
So,
He did good.
yeah, he did really good. He's kind of underrated.
Yeah, he really is.
Him and Joel Edgerton, both of them were so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Danny, whoever Danny was, he was great.
I'm surprised that Joel Edgerton isn't in more.
I know. It's because he was in a Star Wars prequel, man. So he had to come back from that. He had to fight his way back up to the top. He's in 2 Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, Danny. Danny
But
was
he only had
great.
speaking lines.
PJ
Yeah.
Byron.
Oh, yeah, my guy PJ Byron. My favorite.
Byron.
PJ
Byron.
Byron. That's my guy.
And then Roy, he did great.
Yeah.
He's Roy.
Yeah.
So overall, everybody I thought did what? Sorry, keep going.
one specific acting thing. And I guess this was acting and directing and writing, but it was all the same person anyway. When they're at the fake dinner party or the real whatever it was at the broken into house, right? It's just Gordo and Simon and Robin, and Simon says, "I never got a chance to ask you what you do. What do you do?" And there is the longest, most unsettling pause, just like right on Joel Edgerton's face. And he's just sitting there like he's about to say something, and it takes way too long for him to say something. And there's no music. There's nothing. It's just silence. It's so unsettling. It very much
he's just
added
like-
to, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm afraid you've caught me in a lie. And then it's just like, bro, what?
It was weird.
Because you're almost like, is he gonna snap?
right.
No, that was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Their music and lack of music was very good.
It was solid.
Oh.
Acting wise, I think I'd put this high. I'd give it a 194.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna do 182.
182.
Just for 192. No, 192. Mainly just for Rebecca Hall.
Yeah.
200 for Joel. Pretty close 200 for Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
And everybody else was just good. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that music.
Okay,
though.
score.
Dude, the first thing is when they're leaving that party and they're sitting in the car and the gate's not opening, the music starts and it's so
my gosh.
good.
That scene is so terrifying.
And then
Because you're like,
happens.
nothing happens. No, but
Yeah.
you just see freaking. So basically, when they go to that dinner thing, they leave, but there's like a gate, right, that has to be opened, and so they go to the gate and it's not opening, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, is he gonna keep him here? Like, what's happening, right? And then Simon freaks out and he steps out and he goes up and he just stares at the window, and Gordo just like deadpan, just like staring at him. And you just see his arm just barely move up and he just beeps the gate to open. And like, that's it. But the music, you're like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, it's freaky.
So terrifying.
It's so freaky. And then there are just other parts. I didn't even write down specific parts, but there's just other parts of the movie where the music's so good. And it's loud,
The Last
too.
Gift. Yeah. The Last
Oh,
Gift.
yeah, The Last
music's
Gift, dude.
great.
But they made the music extra loud. Like, it's louder than the words, and it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it works. It's so good.
Yeah. What would you give it?
Here's the thing. I think I have to give it a 199 because there's just not enough. Well, it's hard because it really got the job done. But it can't. It's not allowed to go in the 200 club unless it's like a classic. You know what I mean?
Even to me, I would say 198 just because it is so good. It got the job done. But there's not like a ton of it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it's there, you take it away in the movie, you know, it definitely lowers that movie by a lot. And so it is super dang good, super freaky, super suspenseful. So props to whoever the freaking music guy is.
Definitely.
Composer. That's the word I was trying to look for.
No, it's the music guy. You were right the first time.
The music guy. Yeah.
All right. So, Craig,
Vibe.
what's your vibe?
I'm stuck on the 199, 200 right now. I'll do 199.
Okay.
I'll do 199.
I feel like if you don't know right off the bat that it is a 200,
Yeah.
it's not 200, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 196.
Okay.
It's still high. Still had fun, but there was a lull kind of in the second act. And there were some things where I was like, part of it was, do you not realize how weird Gordo is? And also, do you not realize how mean your husband is?
Uh-huh.
She was just kind of too oblivious for me to enjoy that aspect of it. Was not horrible by any means, but yeah.
I wonder if the stuff from before, like before they moved to that place where she obviously had a lot of issues with addiction and stuff, I wonder if that has honestly like shifted her way of thinking to where she was normalizing things she shouldn't be normalizing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So,
Gotta get that prequel. Just kidding. That'd be such an uninteresting prequel.
yeah, it'd be so dumb.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think you
The
gave
only
it?
cool thing is if you actually showed like the prequel where it's like them in high school.
All the bullying. I mean, yeah, it could be kind of cool. And then the first half's a prequel and the second half's a sequel where Gordo goes and just terrorizes him for the rest of his life. That'd be kind of dope, actually.
That would be kind of great.
All right, so what do you think you gave it? Here, I'll guess first.
949.
I always make you guess first. Oh, what did you say? 949?
949.
No way. You think actually that's
No,
possible.
959.
No, he said 949. I'm going to say
No,
I gave it a
959.
959.
Shut up.
You gave it 950.
Oh, 949 was so close.
Yeah, well, too bad that wasn't your guess. And I gave it
bad
a
I changed it.
954. Solid. Not too bad.
No,
Not
that's
too
a
bad.
high rated movie.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
I highly recommend this. I think this is a fun.
Yeah.
I think going into, we're getting close to fall, getting close to spooky season. You're going to want to be cuddled up with a little movie, a little suspense. This is a good one.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those where you might not want to like rewatch it all the time, but you want to show people it.
Yeah.
You want to watch it with people to see how
Yeah.
they react.
That's how 10 Cloverfield Lane is for me. Like, maybe I'm not going to watch this all the time, but if someone's like, man, I could use a good suspense movie, I'm like, I got the one for you.
See, I think I would watch 10 Cloverfield Lane more than this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it
Yeah.
And if you do watch it, wait 8 years, you'll like it again. It's really good.
Yeah, just forget everything except for the end. Okie dokie.
Okay, do you know box office or anything? Because I don't.
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Okay.
So let's come up with a number real quick. I think I've got mine in brain.
Okay.
Ooh, do I? Okay, I do. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
Okay,
45 million.
81. Oh, 45?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm such an idiot.
I don't know.
I always think I'm going really low. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get him this time. I'm going to go super low. And then you do half of what I did. You're probably right, because I never heard of this movie in my life. Wait. Oh, are you kidding me? Hold on. 58.9.
Yeah.
You know what? That was a closer. What did you say? 45?
Yeah.
That was a closer battle than normal. Okay.
Yes.
58.9.
I almost got domestic right on the nail. It was 44
You
million.
did.
Yeah.
You did.
Hey, dude, a $5 million budget, like, good for them.
Yeah, actually, that's wow. $5 million. That's
I
crazy.
mean, there's really almost nothing in it.
Weird. Yeah, that's true.
You
It's
just
just actors.
You're literally paying the actors.
You're paying cast and crew right there.
Yeah.
I feel like Jason Bateman didn't get paid much to do that movie.
No, but he's not really like a head person that gets millions of dollars,
I
though.
mean, wasn't that the same year as? Wait, when did Zootopia come out?
It was the year after Zootopia was 2016. This was 2015.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he had already been headhunted by Disney then.
Yeah, but I bet you, I don't even know how much he might have made though.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of those things where he just really believed in the movie, you know?
Yeah.
Some people do that. Okay.
Okay.
Got anything else on
No,
The Gift?
I think that's it.
Okay. Let's look at some of our box offices that are running before we get out of here. The first one that we're looking at that is running is Inside Out 2, which is currently sitting at $1.595 billion,
Dang.
which is so much money. So much money.
So much money.
So Craig has that one in the bag. Except for Courtney really has that in the bag.
Technically, yeah, Courtney did.
Quiet
Deadpool.
Place, day one. Oh,
Oh, okay.
Quiet Place Day One sitting at 260. When's Quiet Place done? It's been
Did I
out for a
say
minute
219?
now. You said 211.
Okay.
So you definitely have that one.
What
And
did
then
you say?
Deadpool, I said low. What did I say? 191.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Deadpool Wolverine's at 1036.
1036. Yep.
That one, I don't know, dude.
I'm curious about Deadpool.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. It already passed.
I don't
my
know. I don't
number.
know how much more it's gonna do.
You're gonna win that one.
We've passed. Are you sure though? Because we've passed you, but it still needs to make almost $200 million more dollars.
It has to make
That's
a
a
little
lot.
bit more than 200 million.
Yeah.
It needs to make
That's-
what, like 220 ish
Yeah.
to win.
That's kind of a lot.
That is kind of a lot. I'll bet honestly that that's about where it sits. Is like the 1.2, 1.3 region.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. But so
Yeah,
far I'm
we'll
getting
see.
just absolutely hosed.
Well, I mean, just this last weekend, it did 54 million, I think, domestic.
That's not good for me.
So
I mean, man,
international is
I
probably
really
like
went on
another
a
100
run
million.
there for a minute. And I've just
I don't
been
know.
getting-
You still might win Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm curious.
I need it really bad, or else I
Yeah,
will not
we'll
have
see.
beat you in one since Gran Turismo. which was a minute ago. So,
But you give it like one more week and it will become the #1 rated R because Joker is 1078. So
so it's gonna do that this like in the next couple days probably.
yeah, I'll probably do this
Weekend
too.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Can you believe that? I'm just looking over some stuff. Like, can you believe like FNAF made twice as much money as like everything?
Dude,
Poor things.
But it's got the base.
I guess, yeah. I guess it does.
got the fan base.
That movie was just not any good.
Dude, the Minecraft movie that's going to be coming out could be the dumbest thing ever, and it will probably be the #1
It's gonna
movie.
make us so much money. Is that coming out next year?
Let's see. It's coming out next year, yeah.
Not tonight, but soon. We need to talk about all the movies that are like in the works
Okay.
and talk about like where hype is at, you know?
Yeah. April 4th.
Dang.
Like,
okay.
I literally think that might be a $2 billion movie.
Yeah, it's possible, but people said that about Dungeons and Dragons.
No. See, this is even bigger than Mario. So Mario's 1.3 billion. This could
Do you
have
think
the
Minecraft
potential.
overall, just in all of history, do you think Minecraft's bigger than Mario?
No. As a singular game, it is the most sold game of all time.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it's going to have enough draw from a large enough audience.
I bet.
But we'll see.
I bet.
Should we put a little wager on it right now? I think it does
Oh.
less than Mario. You think it does more?
Okay, I think it'll do more than Mario.
Okay, I think it's going to do less. I'll bet you a lunch.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, deal. Let it be known here, everybody who listens, you guys are the
Everyone who
witnesses
listens to the
our
gift.
bet. So far, I'm doing really
Um,
bad on all of our bets too, and all of the things. So
Yeah. Next week should be the new Alien movie.
yeah.
So
Should be. Also, I do need everybody to know that I paid out on my debt to Craig for him winning Avatar. So I just want everybody to know that I am
he
no
gave me
longer
he gave me
indebted.
$5 to see a movie. Yeah.
It was a price that I was willing to pay. I had to save up for a year and a half, but I got there. I got
Let the
enough to
record
give you.
show that his actual payout is going to be making me something cool for my stream. So
I will do that as
Yeah.
well. I will do that.
oh man. Okay.
Dang. Okay. Well, Craig, I think you're up.
Yeah. I think it is. Thank you for another fantastic episode of Redacted Elephants. Always cute. Toad is only naked. That is maybe existential.
I know that it is for me. Existential. Okay. That's a good one.
You heard it here, folks. Toto's only naked.
Toad is only naked. It is true. I don't believe that what he is wearing is real clothes.
Have you seen him with his hat off?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
So scary. All right.
Okay.
We'll see you next week for Aliens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Romulus.
Bye.
Bye.